Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the new premises of the old Foreign Correspondent Club of Japan. My name is Pio D'Emilia. I'm moderating today. We have a very important and timely guest today, Professor and lawyer Nobuo Gohara. As the notice clearly states, he is a former public prosecutor, which under personal and I would say political circumstances decided to give up a few years ago his profession and established himself as a lawyer. We at PAC are always trying to invite guests in a timely moment, and I believe that this time we were very successful because even if we are still trying to get Mr. Goon lawyers and Mr. Goon himself when and if he will be released. In the time being, we have invited Nobuo Gohara because he can explain us about a couple of, I would say, kind of difficult and mysterious somehow way of proceeding of criminal procedure in Japan. As you know, in Japan, there is a system of plea bargaining, but it's a very different system from the one that we know about the US and even about some smaller systems that are existing in Europe. And on top of that, we have also a situation by which in Japan, as you know, the criminal action, so-called kiso, is discretional and is not compulsory like in many other countries. So actually the public prosecutor has a lot of discretional power. Somebody even goes as far as defining it an arbitrary power. So, without any much ado from me, I would like to introduce you to Nobuo Gohara, who is our guest today. Please, Mr. Gohara, take the stand. And let me introduce our interpreter today, Mr. Nemoto. He will be a consecutive translator today, interpreter today. Thank you.
今の部分はどうします？訳さないでよろしいですか？ちょっと僕も
大丈夫。大体わかります。
ご紹介いただきました郷原です。よろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you very much for your kind introduction. My name is Gohara.
最初にちょっと配布してます資料についてご説明したいと思います。
First, let me briefly explain the handouts that we have distributed on the table.
パワーポイントの資料、この投影されているものも日本語の資料ですが、このうち、最初に日本版司法取引についての話をしたいと思います。その部分は英訳を用意をしています。
There are a couple of materials on the table. One in PowerPoint format is dealing with the Japanese version of plea bargaining, and this will be projected onto the larger screen in front of you, and the screen you are going to see is written only in Japanese, but we have the English translation of this subject of Japanese way of plea bargaining. So please refer to it.
それから私が書いたブログを配布しています。まず11月21日付のブログ、これがかなり反響があって今日お招きいただいたきっかけになったブログだと思います。これについては英訳版をつけております。
And we have also distributed the personal blogs that I wrote. More specifically, the November 21st blog had a lot of attention. Have a lot of repercussions, which is a part of the reason why I was invited to speak before you today. And this blog is also translated into English.
それと昨日出したブログ、これが前のブログ以上に非常に大きな反響を呼んでおりますが、まだこれは英訳できておりませんので、日本語版の配布だけです。
And a lot more greater, repercussions were created by the November 25th version of my blog, which is yesterday. But again, this blog was not yet translated into English. Sorry about this.
それではまず日本版司法取引の特徴についてお話をしたいと思います。
First, let me explain something about the features or characteristics of the Japanese plea bargaining system.
この表は日本の司法取引とアメリカ、ドイツの制度を比較したものです。
This slide gives you a comparative, analysis between Japan and the United States and Germany in terms of the plea bargaining system practiced in respective regions.
日本の司法取引の最大の特徴は、アメリカのような自己不在型が制度として導入されなかった、自己不在型が含まれていないということです。
One of the most salient characteristics of the Japanese plea bargaining system is very simple, which is that we didn't introduce the U.S. style of plea bargaining system, which is characterized by self-incrimination.
日本の司法取引は他人の犯罪事実についての供述をすることで、自らの処罰を軽減してもらう制度だけです。
The intent or the purpose of the Japanese plea bargaining system is to allow defendants or the accused to make some statements about the other's possible crime involvement, thereby trying to reduce or commute the sentences they may get at the court.
そのような、他人不在型だけの制度、司法取引であることが、この司法取引の運用にも非常に大きな影響を及ぼす可能性があります。
And there is a very strong, probability of this Japanese version of plea bargaining system is going to have a very large impact on the criminal proceedings, because Japan adopted the plea bargaining system, which only incriminates other people than yourself.
なぜ、アメリカのような、自己不在型の、司法取引が導入されなかったのかという点なんですが、まず一つは、日本にはアメリカのような有罪答弁、の場合のアレインメントという制度がありません。
Why did Japan not introduce the self-incriminatory plea bargaining system that has been practiced in the United States? One of the reasons for this is that Japan hasn't had any system of entering a plea of guilt, which is very often widely practiced in the United States.
結局日本では検察官と被告人弁護人との間だけで、刑を、有罪を確定させる権限は、検察官には与えられていません。
This means that here in Japan, the prosecutors do not have any authority to determine the type of sentence or penalties that will be imposed on the accused or the defendant, even in collaboration with the accused and the counsel for the defense.
もう一つは、これがある意味ではさらに重要な理由なんですが、罪を日本の司法制度の下では罪を犯した者がその事実を認めるのは当然だと考えられています。自白したからといって特別の恩典が与えられる理由がない。 ところが他人の犯罪であればもともと供述する義務はないんで、それをあえて行って捜査に協力した場合は恩典を与えることも正当化できるという理由です。
And more important reason why we did not adopt the U.S. type of self-incriminatory plea bargaining system, and I think this is more important than what I've been talking about, which is we believe that it is only natural for the guilty person to make a confession about the crime he or she perpetrated. And so there is no benefits accruing from making a confession in the court of law or the interrogation processes. And also there is an element of giving some sort of benefits because some sort of benefits to the accused because here in Japan it's not legally required to make some sort of statements concerning others that would incriminate other people. So if the person makes a statement willingly about the other person who was involved in the wrongdoing, that should be rewarded in one way or the other.
ということで、日本の司法取引の場合は、自分自身の犯罪を認めるだけじゃなくて、他人の犯罪についての捜査協力をすることが司法取引の、条件となるわけですが、そのためにですね、第三者を犯罪に巻き込む恐れがあるということで、その危険性の問題はこの立法の過程でもいろいろ議論をされました。
So under the current system of Japanese plea bargaining, of course, the accused or the defendants are expected to make confession about their crime they committed, and also they are expected to collaborate or cooperate in the process of interrogation, investigation, and other court proceedings so that truth will be, some sort of truth will be brought to the case. But in this process, there is a danger involved, which is to involve other third parties because of the type of confession the accused or defendant has made, because the desire to reduce the sentence of his own crime, they may or may not make some false statement in the process. And this, danger or risk of making false statements was already identified when this, act on a Japanese plea bargaining system was deliberated in the Diet.
この点については、この英訳版の資料にも書いてますので、こちらの方をご参照ください。
This particular point was clearly spelled out in the English version of the brochure, so please refer to that portion of the brochure or the handouts.
そこで、カルロフス・ゴーン氏の事件の話に移りたいと思います。
Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty of the topic for today, which is the Carlos Ghosn possible involvement in the crime.
ゴーン氏の逮捕事実は、検察の発表によりますと、2015年3月期までの5年間で実際にはゴーン氏の報酬が99億9800万円だったのに、有価証券報告書に合計49億8700万円だったとの虚偽の記載をして提出したという事実です。有価証券報告書の虚偽記載の事実です。
So the reason for his arrest is the false entry into the securities report because in the 5-year period through March 2015, he actually received a total amount of money totaling 9.9 billion extra money, whereas the securities reports only recorded or logged 4.9 yen. 4.9 billion yen or more.
このような、有価証券報告書の虚偽記載の事実で、日産、ルノー、三菱自動車の会長を務めるゴーン氏が逮捕されたことに、私は大変驚きました。でそこで、非常に違和感、疑問を覚えたことについて、これは21日のブログの英訳版の最初のところに書いておりますので、ちょっとこちらをご覧ください。
And Mr. Carlos Ghosn is the chairman of the three-party conglomerate group, Nissan, Renault, and Mitsubishi Motors. And this person of great public stature was arrested, which gave me which gave me a sense of a great surprise. And back then, I felt somewhat. I felt a sense of unease, or I felt some concerns or questions about the validity of his arrest. And that was clearly explained in the English version of my blog dated November 21st.
ここでその有価証券報告書の、役員報酬のを過少に実際よりも少なく記載した、というのが今回の容疑事実、ということなんですが、それ、はい、
どうぞ。
それは2つに分けて考えてみることができます。この犯罪事実は2つに分けて考えることができます。
And the reasons for his arrest is twofold, if I may say so. The director's remuneration was underreported or understated in the securities, statements.
まず一つはゴーン氏に対して、この事実によると年間10億円という役員報酬が支払われた事実、支払いがあった事実、これが一つです。支払いがあった、役員報酬の支払い、これがどういう形で支払われたのか、役員報酬と認定されるものがあったということが第一です。
The first point I'd like to make is the fact that directors' remuneration, what is deemed to be a director's remuneration, has been paid to Mr. Carlos Ghosn to the tune of 1 billion yen annually. So there was a description of the payment, annual payment to Mr. Ghosn.
そしてもう一つは、そういう役員報酬が支払われていることを認識した上で、有価証券報告書の役員報酬の欄にそれを正しく記載しなかった、それを記載しなかった、不記載という事実です。
Despite the fact the annual payment has been made steadily to Mr. Carlos Ghosn, there was a failure of sorts. There was a failure to describe the annual payment in securities reports.
じゃあまずその役員報酬というのは何なのかということです。記載されなかった役員報酬というのは、その可能性として、いくつかが考えられます。
So this brings us to the question of what is directors' rewards or remuneration, what they are all about. There are a couple of possibilities we have to think about.
まず第一に通常の役員報酬が支払われて、 年間ですね、実際には20億円支払われているのに、そのうち10億円しか有価証券報告書の役員報酬の欄に記載されなかった、通常の役員報酬の支払いです。
So the typical director's remuneration payment actually took place, and the amount, annual amount, was, as it turned out, 2 billion yen. But only half of that money, 1 billion yen, was logged and posted in securities reports.
その次に、これは先週、日経新聞が報じたんですが、ストックアプリエーション券、SAR と言われる株価連動型の報酬、これが開示されなかったという話があります。支払われているのに開示されなかったという話があります。
Also, last week, Nikkei newspaper reported to the effect that SAR, or the stock appreciation rights, which is linked to the stock price of Nissan, was not described either on the securities report.
そして2日前の朝日読売で報じられたのが、ゴーン氏退任後に支払いを約束された役員報酬があったと。まだ支払われてない。退任後に、将来退任後に支払いを約束された報酬があった。これが3つ目です。
And the third point I'd like to make is the reports made by both Asahi and Yomiuri newspaper 2 days ago, which says that there was a payment commitment by Nissan to Carlos Ghosn after he retired from the current position. This is a commitment to pay, so this payment has yet to be made to Mr. Ghosn. This is directors, benefits, part of the directors' remunerations.
そして最後にいろいろ報道されているんですが、海外でゴーン氏に自宅を提供したり、家賃の負担をしたというのが役員報酬だという話もあります。
And there are other reports which has gaining momentum in the mass media, saying that the company paid the purchase of overseas houses where Mr. Ghosn is expected to live, and also they paid the monthly rent for the house they borrowed.
でこの4つのどういう役員報酬が、記載されなかったという問題なのかによってこの犯罪に関わった人間の範囲、関わったと考えられる人間の範囲が変わってきます。
And I have talked about 4 major points concerning the director's remuneration payment to Mr. Ghosn, and which of the 4 payments was paid or was not paid. That's a very important question, because it has a bearing upon who, other than Mr. Ghosn, got involved in the entire scam.
通常の金銭報酬とか SAR の場合は取締役などかなり広範囲の会社関係者が含まれると考えられます。
When it comes to monetary remunerations to directors and other remuneration in the form of SAR, a lot of other people typically got involved in the payment of these rewards to directors.
で一方、この海外での自宅の提供とか家賃の負担の場合は、知っている人間は非常に少ないと、限られているということも考えられます。
Whereas a limited number of people would know about the purchase of overseas houses and the and the shouldering of the monthly rent for the house or houses they borrowed for him.
ということで、一体そのどんな役員報酬が、記載されなかったのかということによって、どんな犯罪なのか、誰が関わったのかということが全く違ってくるわけですが、これまでの報道ではここが全く明らかにならなかった。よくわからないまま他のことの報道ばかりが先行していきました。
So, what sort of directors' remuneration were not clearly, explicitly described on the securities reports? We are not quite sure which one of them or which two of them were not described accurately in the securities report. But unless we know the total picture of that sort of question, we would not be able to determine and identify what sort of crime has been committed by Mr. Gon. But alas, up to today, Japanese mass media may be slightly lax in reporting the accurate situation of the crime that might have taken place.
そのことは、いろいろすでに報じられているように、この件で、検察とこの日産の役職員との間で司法取引が行われたと言われていますが、本当にその司法取引を行う余地があるのかというところに関係してきます。
And this in turn leads us to the next question of whether there is actually room for plea bargaining between the prosecutors and the Nissan top executives. This was, as you know, was reported widely.
今お話したように、この役員報酬の支払いというのが通常の金銭報酬だとか SAR だとかそういうものであれば、もうおそらく支払いの事実は、客観的に明白で、それを記載するかどうかが問題だということになります。で、結局その司法取引というのはその犯罪が成立するもの、犯罪者でもある人間が捜査に協力することによって処罰を軽減してもらうということですから、その人間にも犯罪が成立してないといけないわけです。
And directors' remuneration in the form of the typical monetary remuneration and other forms like SAR, the fact that the payment has been made is very obvious. No one can deny this. So it's only the problem, the question of describing the rewards in securities report. And the plea bargaining, the purpose of the plea bargaining is to let the person involved to make some sort of confession and to be willing to collaborate with the prosecutor's investigation. So I think some sort of crime has definitely been committed by a person in question, the person who would be willing to collaborate or cooperate with the prosecutors.
ところが客観的に明白な事実であれば捜査協力というのは考えにくいし、一方で本当にごく一部の人間しか知らないような海外の自宅の提供などであれば、そういう人は有価証券報告書に虚偽を記載するというところに関わっているとは考えられません。
ちょっと待ってください。一部の人しか海外の件に関して一部の人しか知らない。
そういう人は、虚偽記載というところ、有価証券報告書の記載には関わっていると考えられにくい。
And it is very obvious that people would be willing to collaborate with the prosecutors in investigation and interrogation, and this is a fact of truth that nobody can deny. And in the case of overseas houses, this is something that only a handful of people knew about. So this wouldn't make it easy for us to understand why they tried. Some of the people tried to conceal or hide the remuneration payment to Mr. Gon.
そしてようやく分かってきたことが、どうやら今回問題にされた逮捕事実の虚偽記載というのは、この、赤で書いてます退任後の支払いの約束であったこと、これが50億の虚偽記載の事実であるということがどうも間違いないという状況になってきています。
And as time passes, certain facts may be emerging, coming to the fore, which is the payment commitment made by Nissan to Mr. Carlos Ghosn, and they are basing the reason. They are basing the arrest of Mr. Ghosn on this simple fact of Ghosn is expected to receive 5 billion yen after he retires.
もしそういう事実だとすると、検察の方はそういうその支払いの約束についても有価証券報告書に記載する義務があると。だからそれを記載しなかったのは犯罪に当たると言ってるんですが、その点については重大な疑問があります。
While the public prosecutors are saying all the way that the payment commitment would have to be included in the securities reports. These payments have yet to be paid to Mr. Carlos Ghosn, but they think that these kinds of payment commitments also have to be clearly described on the securities reports. But I don't believe they are quite right in thinking that way.
もう実際にお金として受け取ってしまった役員報酬っていうのは、その後、どんなことがあっても返還させられることはまず考えられないわけですが、退任後に受け取る予定になっている単なる支払いの約束であれば、実際に支払うためには社内手続きが必要になります。それから仮に状況が変わって、例えば大幅な赤字でゴーン氏が引責辞任というようなことになったときには、それはとてももらえないということになると思います。そういう意味では支払いの確実性が実際にもらった場合とは全く違います。
Of course, the payment, once they have been made to anybody, there is no probability or likelihood of that payment to be, taken away by the company or any other organization. There is no need for anyone to return the money that has already been paid. But when it comes to payment commitment, in which payment has yet to be made, I don't think that sort of thing would constitute sufficient ground for making him guilty. And suppose, for instance, this is a hypothetical, the situation drastically changes, and the Nissan Motors incurred some sort of debt, a large debt, and because of that, Gon would have to retire sooner than expected. Then this payment commitment would not materialize. Payments, although promised by Nissan, would not be paid to Carlos Ghosn because of Nissan running up a large deficit.
日本には役員退職慰労金という制度があって、一定の期間、役員取締役などを務めると退職後に、一定の、お金がもらえるという制度があるんですが、その場合でもそういう役員退職慰労金についても、有価証券報告書の役員報酬の欄に記載されたという例は聞いたことがありません。
Of course, here in Japan, there is a long-held practice of giving retirement benefits to directors to give credit to what has been contributing to the company, which all of you may be very aware of. But to the extent I remember, there has never been such a example of to the best of my knowledge, I don't remember that that sort of director's retirement benefits has been recorded in the securities reports here in Japan.
ということなので、もし、この虚偽記載が支払いの約束だったとすると、これが支払いの義務が、それについて記載の義務があったという点に非常に疑問がありますし、実際にそういうものを有価証券報告書に記載されているというような実情もない、ということで、その逮捕事実には重大な疑問があります。逮捕が正当だったかどうかということにも重大な疑問があります。
So, if Mr. Ghosn's crime stems from the fact that he and other people failed to accurately describe the payment commitment in securities report, I think there is no such requirement in describing those future payment in securities report. As I said, there has been no example of that sort of thing having happened here in Japan. So I think there is a very large question mark or reservations, at least, about the validity of his arrest.
とりあえず私の話はこの辺りにして、あとはご質問に、のお答えという形でお話したいと思います。
I may have talked slightly longer unilaterally, so I'd like to end my talk here and now so that we can accommodate the questions from the floor.
Thank you very much. I can see already hands up, so let me start from David.
もうすでに手を挙げられている方もいらっしゃいますので、まずゼリーさんの方からお願いします。
Thank you, David McNeil for The Economist. Everybody, including The Economist, has been reporting that an actual crime has been committed here. If I understood what you've just said, you're saying that no crime has been committed. I hope I'm not misunderstanding you, but you seem to be saying that the prosecutors arrested him on the anticipation that he would commit a crime. I wonder if I've characterized that accurately. And second question, have you been interviewed much by the Japanese media?
エコノミストのものでありますけれども、今の郷原先生のご説明だとですね、必ずしもその犯罪と言えるべきものがですね、ゴーン氏によって行われたかどうかということはよくわからないというお話だったと思いますが、我々としては犯罪が行われたというふうに考えておりますし、それは将来的な将来的にそうした犯罪、将来的な支払いに関するものに関しても行われていたのではないかというふうに思っております。その点について再度ご意見をお伺いしたい。それから日本のメディアの方から郷原先生はこれまでインタビューを受けたということがございますでしょうか。
まず第1点ですね、支払いの約束の場合と実際に受領した役員報酬とは全く意味が違うと私は考えています。で、ここで問題になっている有価証券報告書の虚偽記載というのは、重要な事実についての虚偽記載の場合に初めて犯罪が成立します。実際に受け取っているわけではない、退任後の支払いを記載してなかったということが投資家の判断にどれだけ影響するのか。まさにこの有価証券報告書の虚偽記載というのは投資判断に影響するから犯罪なんです。ほとんど私は問題にならないと思いますし、それだけの事実であればゴーン氏の逮捕というのは極めて疑問です。
The first question you raised about the crime, whether the crime has been committed or not committed, I think the promise of payment is diametrically different from the actual receipt of the money. He has not been paid by some of the money. He only received the commitment of payment from Nissan. And I think if some false entry into the securities report matters, I mean, false entry of securities report does present us with a lot of problem if the material breach, very significant breach of that, material breach has taken place. Only that sort of thing happened. We have to think about the possible crime committed by anyone. And also, from the investor's point of view, the payment, possible payment after Mr. Gon retires, I think that the investors are watching very keenly on what sort of corporate behavior Nissan will do and what sort of money they're going to assign to make a profit on their own. So I think the false entry into the securities reports does present a very big problem if there is a very significant breach or the inaccurate reporting of the director's remuneration.
第2点はこれまでこの問題についてはいろいろメディアのインタビューも受けてますが、この支払いの約束、虚偽記載の役員報酬が支払いの約束だったということが明らかになってからはまだ、今日以降ですから、これから先インタビューを受けることになると思います。
Of course, I have been interviewed by Japanese media on various occasions so far, but it is only today that the payment that in question was only a payment commitment. So I'm expecting to be interviewed by many other Japanese media on this particular point of payment commitment.
Thank you. So next question, gentleman there. May I suggest one thing, Mr. Interpreter? In case of English questions, can you just whisper to him? Hello.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Can you just whisper to him so that we...
端的にフランス天皇及川と申します。フランスメディアではゴン会長に対して、非常に同情的な報道が主流を占めております。その理由は、フランスはジョスパン内閣左翼政権の時に97年推定無罪法を成立させて逮捕したら黒だっていう報道は禁じられるようになりました。ですので推定無罪法があるので日本でこんだけもう黒扱いされて糾弾されていることに対して大変同情的な報道が流れております。そこで郷原先生に伺いたいのはこの推定無罪の原則がゴン会長に適用されていない現状をどう考えられるか伺えればと思います。
I'm a journalist working for French media, France 10, and so far, by and large, the French mass media has been very sympathetic to Mr. Gon. That's partly because of the act or the law passed by the Jospin administration, which is a left-leaning administration, and there was a principle established under his regime that we have to treat any suspects based on the principle of giving the benefit of the doubt to any suspects. Presumed innocence principle has been put in place very firmly back then. But here in Japan, it's exactly the opposite. Many of the mass media and the general public seem to think that Mr. Gon may have committed a serious crime. So what do you think, as an attorney at law, what do you think about this principle of presumed innocence?
ご質問の点は日本の刑事法の極めて重大で深刻な問題だと私は思っています。これまでもこういう誰かが犯罪の容疑で逮捕されたときにもう逮捕直後からもう有罪視報道が行われるということは日本の刑事法のメディアの大きな問題だとされてきました。でなぜそうなってしまうのかというとやはりそこには検察の力がものすごく強い裁判所と検察との関係があります。日本では、有罪率が 99.9% です。一度検察が起訴した場合にはもうほとんど、有罪です。でしかも今回のように特捜部検察官自身が捜査に乗り出して逮捕した場合逮捕して起訴しないということがほとんどありえない。検察は引き返しません。ですからもう逮捕した時点から有罪と決めてかかってメディアが報道するという現状があります。これはもうかねてから指摘されたこときたことですけども日本の刑事法メディアの重大な問題だと思います。
I think you've just hit the nail on the head. I mean, what you pointed out is a very serious and critically important question concerning Japanese criminal proceedings. Once a person is arrested, then upon arresting, almost everybody thinks that that person is guilty of a crime. This has something to do with the attitude of the Japanese media, and as you know, the indictment ratio of the indictment ratio here in Japan stands at 99.9%. So once you are charged, indicted, you are 99% likely to be given a guilty verdict. This has been practiced for a long time here in Japan, and so in this instance, the Special Investigative Unit of the Public District Prosecutor's Office actually did the investigation and made the arrest of Mr. Gon. So it's not possible for them to make some sort of change, change in mindset, and not to indict Mr. Gon. There is no such possibility. There is the point of no return has been reached as far as public prosecutor's office is concerned.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Patrick Walter with the German newspaper Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung. If I understand you correctly, you are making a distinction between income paid and income promised, which means payment in future. This question seems to be much too obvious in all accounting standards, that there should be some kind of rule in Japan if this income should be mentioned in security reports or not. Can you talk on that? Do you know if there is any rule specifically for this case?
こうした件に関してですね、何か特別な事情とかそういうものがあるんだとお考えになりますか?
And I have a second question, if I may, concerning the decision to dismiss Mr. Goon from the chairmanship of Nissan. If your arguments are correct, and especially taking into account that more people at Nissan might have known what happened than we know right now, what is your position? Is this decision of dismissal correct, or is it might there be some legal question marks on it?
私もですね、今回の逮捕は非常に拙速に行われたんじゃないかと考えています。通常こういう極めて経済に社会に極めて重大な影響を生じさせるような、重要人物の逮捕の場合は検察が事前に相当周到に準備をして証拠を固め、法的な判断も行った、法的な検討も行った上で逮捕するのが、普通だと思うんですが、今回は逮捕の時点でこれもう先ほどから私が言ってる何が問題になった、何が隠された役員報酬なのかすら全然分からなかった。発表も行われないし、メディアも全然それを報じることもできませんでした。それは検察の逮捕の段階で検察も十分に検討しないままゴーン氏とケリー氏が、両方身柄確保できるチャンス、逮捕できるチャンスに拙速に逮捕してしまったんじゃないかと私は考えています。
I myself think that the arrest of the two people this time around was done in a very haphazard and in a very hurried way. And I think public prosecutors should think twice and give a thorough examination whether their possible arrest would be valid or not, because the arrested person is a very important person in society, not just in Japan, but internationally as well. So public prosecutors should have done a lot more preparations, like collecting hard evidence and what is the legal rationale for their arrest. But that was not been done sufficiently. And this time, because of the media attention or lack of attention to what was actually happened, what was actually concealed from the public eye. So I think public prosecutors should have been more careful and thorough in trying to bring charges against these two people.
2点目ですが、私もそのゴーン氏、ケリー氏の会食決議ですね、臨時取締役会における会食決議には重大な疑問があります。その点はこの英訳をしているこちらの方にも書いております。で、私は本当に解任できるんだろうかという疑問を持ってたんですが、ルノーの取締役も含めて、その会食に賛成したと。これ非常に疑問です。本当にそのゴーン氏の不正の事実について正確な説明が行われたのかどうか、それを本当に正確に把握した上でルノー側が賛成したのか、私は非常に疑問です。
The second point I'd like to make in this connection is I still harbor lingering reservations about the dismissal that took place vis-a-vis the two people, Mr. Ghosn and Mr. Kelly, in the extra board of extra directors meeting that took place several days ago, and they were dismissed because of unanimous decision taken by the board. And I think there was an English explanation on this point, so please refer to it as well. I have thought that it would not be possible for the board to dismiss the two gentlemen but against, contrary to our expectation, the two board directors from France also ended up in approving the dismissal decision. But again, I think there is a lot of question about the sufficient explanation having been given to the two Renault directors. So they may have voted for the dismissal of Mr. Ghosn and Mr. Kelly without being sufficiently explained about the situation concerning the arrest and detention of Mr. Ghosn.
Okay, Martin, I think, well, do you agree to stay 5 minutes more, 10 minutes? Okay, another couple of questions.
Martin Kölling with the German business newspaper Handelsblatt. If I understand you correctly, we are still not really sure about the whole image, the whole picture, about possible crimes that might or might not have been committed. What is your understanding? How are these referred payments, basically the future payments, the promised payments, are they the main cause of, or the main source of this 5 billion yen? Or are there other payments that constitute this 5 billion yen, and these new revelations are in addition to that? Or is it basically what we were talking about last week? This is my first question for clarification. And you mentioned the media critique. You criticized the media for their reporting. But I wonder, how do they get the information? They get the information mostly and mainly, I think, from the prosecutor's office. can you explain to us, because you were a prosecutor, how this game with the media works and why prosecutors give these information to the media in this piecemeal manner, and why the prosecutors not explain to us actually what they are basing their accusations on? Because if they would do it publicly, we wouldn't have to guess.
検察の方であまり大っぴらにやるとですね、いろいろ問題があるので、リークという形でちょこちょこ出して、それがメディアの方の対応の仕方に影響を与えるというふうに私は考えるんですが、どうでしょうか。
おそらくですね、この支払いの約束の事実が逮捕事実であることは、ほぼ間違いないと思いますが、そうだとすると検察は今後その起訴までにですね、それ以外のものをなんとか、犯罪事実として立件しようとするんじゃないかと私は考えています。その立件される可能性のある事実の一つが、先ほどお話した SAR、 これは検討するんじゃないかと思います。それから海外の、自宅の提供など、この2つが考えられますが、SAR については重大な問題があります。それは、直近のところ、一番最近のところは SAR の問題には当然現蔡川社長も関わってるんじゃないかという問題、ここは非常に問題です。それから自宅の提供の話は、これちょっと50億と比べるとかなり金額が低くなるんで、それで役員報酬の、事実にするっていうのは、あまり、重要な話にならないんじゃないかと思います。
I firmly believe that the payment commitment made by Nissan to Mr. Gon is the major reason for the prosecutors having arrested Mr. Gon. But there are other aspects to the whole question of his arrest, and the public prosecutors are trying to collect evidence to substantiate their claim of his claim that their arrest was very valid. One of the reason is the SAR stock appreciation rights, and I think this is a very important question that has to be answered by the stakeholders, and why I say this SAR is a very important question is that there is a very high probability of Mr. Saikawa, the president of Nissan, having been involved in SAR issue. And the other point the prosecutors may be looking to establish is the provision of overseas houses for Mr. Gon. But numerically, these provision of overseas houses is very low in the value, purchase value and the monthly rents compared with the 5 billion yen that we are talking about. So I don't think there's little ground for the prosecutors to establish a case, at least in this aspect of provision of private homes overseas.
Okay, Stefano.
About how the prosecutors, how the media get the
その検察と
検察だけではなくて、今回私が聞いてますのは日産側からの情報に基づいて、報道しているっていうのが、かなりの部分じゃないかと思います。検察はからも出てるかもしれませんが、かなりの部分は日産側からじゃないかと思います。
Well, my gut feeling tells me that it is Nissan side that leaked information this time around, probably more so than the public prosecutor's office. So information was deliberately disclosed more by Nissan than by the public prosecutors.
Okay, Stefano, last question.
Stefano Carrera from the Italian Economic Daily
Before
newspaper. So this case is impressive also because Japan across the world has tend to have a gentle image, but in this case everything was brutal. So Japan looked like China, because it's in China that the big boss can suddenly disappear from one day to another, and in this case also Mr. Gon was ejected from Nissan without having the possibility to say one single word. So the big question is, also because it seems that it's the first time ever in Japan that a manager has been arrested for underreporting his income. So is the fact that Mr. Gon is a foreigner a factor in this case? I mean, at least in the sense that if the chairman of Nissan would have been a Japanese, the entire affair would have been handled differently. Thanks.
高額の役員報酬を、受け取っていたというところが、そもそもの問題にされているわけですから、日本人の経営者で、そのような高額の報酬を受けている人はあまりいないということは確かですから、こういうことは日本人の経営者にはあまり起きないんだろうとは思います。まず。
I would rather agree with your statement that Japanese CEOs, if it was a Japanese CEO instead of Mr. Gon, this sort of thing would not have happened, if I may say so. The root of the problem is the very high remuneration that Mr. Gon has been receiving over the years. And Japanese CEOs and top echelon people have been receiving relatively small amount of money in the capacity of CEOs and others. So I think there is a element of being Japanese or non-Japanese involved in this question.
ただ私がちょっと疑問なのは、ゴーン氏の方は、日産をあれだけですね V 字回復させた実績がある人ですから、その高額報酬をもらうことも、それが表に出ることも、ゴーン氏自身はそんなにですね抵抗があったんだろうか、それを出したくないという思いがあったんだろうか。むしろその高額報酬を表に出したくないと思うのは日産の日本人の経営者の方じゃないかということが私には若干疑問になります。
But again, I'd like to add a little footnote here that by saying that Mr. Gon, as you know, was instrumental in making a V-shaped recovery in the operation of Nissan Motors. And that sort of thing deserves a high amount of remuneration. And I don't think Mr. Gon is very resistant to disclosing that sort of, monetary remuneration made by Nissan. It is rather the Nissan who think that it would be better not to disclose the high salary that Mr. Gon have received. So I think the situation the situation may have been other way around. Nissan didn't disclose the Gon's high remuneration.
Okay, last question by Jimbo-san. This is really the last one. So I guess if I well understood your answer now, Nissan executives should look for a lawyer sooner or later?
日産の方も弁護士さんと相談した方がよろしいというご意見になりますよね。
I'm going to ask questions in Japanese since it's 郷原さん。日本語で質問します。ビデオニュースの神保です。郷原さんがいろいろ言っていただくと、翌日にはさにあらずもっとネタがあるぞっていうような報道機がなぜか出るので、どんどんいろいろ言ってください。そうすると明日の新聞が期待できるので、誰がリークしているかは別ですけれどもね。1点目、まずですね、郷原さんの後輩たちの思いをぜひちょっと、これはもうまたマーティンが言うみたいにゲスになっちゃうんですけれどもね、検察、特に特捜部、東京地検特捜部は、今伺ったような、非常にちょっとよくわからないこんなネタでね、あれだけの大物逮捕するっていうのは、どういうその動機があると郷原さんお思いになるか。つまり例えば東芝の粉飾みたいなもので1ミリも動かなかった東京地検がですね、突然こんなネタでここまで大きな逮捕に踏み切るっていうのは、何かそれは政治的なモチベーションも含めて、一体どういうそのことがあり得るのか。じゃないとなかなか説明が、今までの話では説明がつかないと思うというのが1点。もう1点はゴーンさん結局こうやって逮捕されてね、これから仮に起訴されて裁判になったとしても、無罪がなるとしても随分時間かかりますよね。でその間にもう取締役も、会長も解任されているし、実際にいろいろなことが彼がもう捕まっている中で進んでいくわけですよね。それでもしもそこで無罪になった場合に、これは、無罪になった場合の前に、まずゴーンさん側としては何か法的な措置をこれに対してこの不当だってことも含めてなんですけども、その間にどんどん経済活動がどんどん起こってしまうので、それに対して対抗措置を取りうる手立てはあるのかと。それからおっしゃったように、もしこれが立件できない、あるいは無罪になった場合に大変なダメージ、これは日産自身がどっち側についてるかわからないですけど、日産も損害を受ける可能性があるわけですけど、それに対して検察のこういう行為に対して何らかの回復する手立てっていうのは今の日本の法制度の下であるのか、その2点をお願いします。
まず第1点なんですが、私も
英語でしょう。English.
The Japanese media are very good at tit for tat, and once you made a statement in the forum like this, the next day you are going to expect a lot of other pieces of information coming out of the Japanese media. So we are pinning large hopes on what sort of things the Japanese media will come up with tomorrow. And if I remember correctly, the Tokyo Public Prosecutor's Office didn't move an inch when window dressing scandal came to light concerning Toshiba. So why this time around they are so factidious about seeking criminal, trying to bring charges against the Mr. Gon and one other person on a relatively shaky ground. And I want to know why this time they are so serious about pursuing the case. And also, if and when, Mr. Gon was sentenced not to be guilty of the crime, that would bring a lot of repercussions and actually damage to Nissan, maybe. And what sort of countermeasures the prosecutors may come up with. Suppose he was deemed to be not guilty. I think prosecutors are wise enough to come up with some sort of countermeasures if that sort of thing really happens. And Mr. Gon himself may be thinking about bringing charges against Nissan executives. So I'm really looking forward to what will eventually unfold out of this current very strange, social furor that we have created.
まず第1点なんですが、はっきり言って私も今回の事件がどうして、こうなったのか分かりません。確かに常識的に考えると、これだけ重大な影響を生じる、ゴーン氏経理事の逮捕ですから、何らかのその組織的な検討、そして、法務省の中での検討のようなものもしっかり行った上でやる、慎重にやるのが当たり前だと思うんですが、どうもちょっとそう慎重にやったように思えないんで、最近のその東京地検特捜部の捜査を見てると、ちょっとかなり乱暴な危ない捜査もやってますから、今回もひょっとしたらそれかなという思いもありますけども、それにしてもちょっと常識では考えにくい。これが第一点です。
Well, again, I'm not quite in the dark as to why this sort of thing happened this time around. This time around with Nissan and Mr. Gon. So my honest feeling is that I'm not quite sure why this was brought out of proportion, and we are having a lot of fuss, maybe a lot of fuss without any substance. And I think the prosecutors have to consult with the Ministry of Justice in bringing serious charges against the person of great stature like Mr. Gon. It is only natural for them to do that sort of thing, but I'm not quite sure they have went to that sort of process this time. And I think Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's way of doing things looks to me to be very violent and somewhat lacking any rationale for the arrest of these people.
2点目なんですが、一般的にはこういう検察の捜査、そして起訴に対しては、被告人側、被疑者側、被告人側は裁判で戦っていくしかない、刑事裁判で戦っていくしかない、これが確かに一般的です。しかしおそらくそれだけではずっと先になって無罪判決が出たとしても、全てのことはもう終わってしまっている。ゴーンさんの今の地位も、影響力もなくなってしまってから無罪になってもあまり意味がないかもしれない。そういう意味では、私がもし弁護人だったとしたら、現時点から対抗してガンガン世の中にですね、不当性を訴えていくということも考えるかもしれません。こういう事件はその社会的にもいろんなその対抗策を講じていかないと、もうすべて裁判の段階では勝負が終わってしまうということになりかねません。そこは検討する必要があると思います。
I think the only avenue or means for a suspect or a defendant to fight for their own prestige and for their own name is to go through the criminal trial proceedings. So that's the only thing they are allowed to do for the time being. But this will take a lot of time, and if over the long haul the Mr. Gon is given a non-guilty verdict or ruling, everything will have been finished already when the non-guilty verdict was given. So if I were in the shoes of attorney, I were in the shoes of the counsel for the defense, I would immediately take various steps with everything every tactics, resorting to every tactics, so that I'd like to stress and highlight the invalidity of this of the arrest and possible indictment of Mr. Gon to the general public. I'll use all the power, all the means in my power to make a case to the general public, so that the lapse of time will not make so that the lapse of time would not translate into the actual demise of the defendant. 何の対象ですか、すみません。ちょっ
と想像がつかないですね、その金額はね。なりうるでしょうけど、まだ事件の中身が分からないんで、そもそも無罪になった場合の。
I cannot give you a definite answer to your question of is this
can you
subject
translate
to
the question too, please?
Yeah, I'm translating.
No, his question first, please. He asked a question in Japanese. Okay.
Whether the Gon will be entitled to sue the government
Exactly.
if he was given an innocent sentence, and I asked him if he's his lawyer, how much would you demand? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
事件の中身がわからないんで、ちょっとなんとも国売で、損害賠償を取れるかどうかも現時点ではなんとも言いようがないですね。
So as of today, I'm not able to give you any specific answer to the question because I'm not aware of the specific details of this arrest of Mr. Gon. So I cannot give you any specific numerical number of how much damage Mr. Gon will receive from the government of Japan.
Thank you, Gohara-san. I think that today we have a lot of statements that tomorrow I hope the Japanese press will pick up. Let me try just to extort the last one.
一番最後の点をもう一度申し上げたいんですが、明日たくさん
At
記
the
事が出る
beginning,
と思います。
we spoke about the enormous power of discretion that the Kensatsu, the public
検
prosecutor
察は
office
いわ
has.
ゆる自由にできるこの力をたくさん持っている、ディスクレッショナリーパワーをたくさん持っているというお話がありましたよね。
And I would like to ask you, and please answer us with yes or no.
イエスとノーで簡単にお答えいただけるとあり
In
がた
the
いんです
West,
が、
we are used since at least the 17th century, 18th century to the
17
concept
世紀、18
of
世紀から西洋ではですね、
separation of
いわゆ
powers.
る三権分立という概念が使われてきました
Do you think that now in Japan there
日
is
本で
separation of
も
powers?
そういう三権分立ということは実際に行われているというふうに郷原先生はお考えでしょうか。
基本的には三権分立のシステムは、制度上は整えられていますが、やはりこの刑事事件に関して言えば検察の権限が極めて強大で、裁判所がそれを検察を抑制する力が非常に弱い、裁判所のチェックが十分に働いてない、それが日本の刑事法の最大の問題だと思っています。
Of course, Japan has a system of separation of power firmly in place, but that is only in name, I would say. The actual power that public prosecutors yield over other branches of government is tremendous. With the judiciary, the courts being unable to control over the prosecutor's excessive power. So I think this is one of the problem of the Japanese separations of power.
Okay. I guess it's almost a no, but it's my interpretation.
ではノーというお答えでよろしいですね。イエス、ノーと答えていただくとするとですね、三権分立は必ずしも機能していないということでよろしいですね。
Okay. Thank you so much for today, and this is a one-year membership, honorary membership to this club. So please come back again and entertain
これ
us.
1年間の名誉会員賞です。また郷原先生、また来ていただきたいと思います。ありがとうございました。